You've probably got one on your friends list. That person who's, well, basically a ghost. You never see any selfies, no big life updates, not a single vacation photo. They exist, but online, they're totally silent. So today, we're going to dig into the psychology behind these social media ghosts and figure out what their online absence really says about them.
I mean, think about it for a second. We're living in this attention economy where every like and share is basically a form of currency. So what is going on with the people who just opt out? It's a really fascinating question because their choice pretty much goes against everything our modern digital culture screams at us to do.
Our first guess is usually something negative, right? We kind of jump to conclusions. We think maybe they're insecure, or maybe they just don't have anything interesting going on. Or, they're just antisocial. But here's a thought. What if those assumptions are completely backward? What if their silence isn't a weakness at all, but a sign of a very different and maybe even a more powerful kind of strength?
So what's the first piece of this puzzle? Well, it often starts with a very simple, conscious choice. See, for a lot of these folks, it's not about hiding, not at all. It's a deliberate decision to put their privacy first in a world that just demands constant exposure. Psychologists actually have a term for this. They call it a high privacy orientation. And really, it's this fundamental need to be in control of your own story. It's not about having some big secret to hide. It's about being really careful about who gets access to your life, your thoughts, and maybe most importantly, your mental space. This is the bedrock of it all. And this quote, this just gets right to the heart of it. It's all about self-validation. While a lot of us get that little dopamine rush from a new like or a comment, these individuals find that validation from within. The satisfaction comes from the experience itself, not from broadcasting it to a huge audience. So you gotta understand, this isn't a rejection of other people. It's a protection of their own peace and quiet. In a digital world that is just relentlessly noisy, they're consciously building a little quiet sanctuary for themselves inside. It's really a defensive move to keep their well-being intact. Okay, so let's take that idea of privacy and go one level deeper. This lack of posting, it isn't just a defensive choice. A lot of the time, it's actually rooted in a very strong and stable sense of who they are. And this is where research points to something called self-concept clarity. Basically, when you have a really clear picture of your own values, your goals, and your identity, you just don't need a digital mirror constantly reflecting a version of you back at yourself. If you already know who you are, you're way less likely to go looking for constant feedback from an online crowd. And this really lays out the two different playbooks for happiness, doesn't it? On one side, you have that endless chase for external approval. You're jumping on trends, constantly checking notifications. And then, on the other side, you've got this internal compass. For these folks, happiness is self-generated. It's not crowdsourced. Which brings us to the big emotional payoff of all that self-awareness. Choosing to stay offline is often a deliberate strategy for just maintaining your emotional well-being. It's about choosing your own peace over the constant pressure to perform for an audience. And this is where we see the incredible power of a secure self-esteem. Think of it like this. If self-concept clarity is knowing who you are, then secure self-esteem is being completely comfortable with who you are. People with it don't need to post a selfie to feel attractive or share an accomplishment to feel worthy. Their sense of self-worth is durable. It doesn't go up and down with the algorithm. And here is the huge psychological trap that they are actively avoiding: social comparison. Social media is basically a massive engine designed for this exact purpose. It pushes us to constantly measure our own messy, real lives against everyone else's perfectly polished highlight reels. The contrast is just stark, isn't it? The online performance can trap you in this vicious loop of anxiety and feeling like you're not enough. But by focusing on their offline reality, these individuals are just opting out. They're not playing a game they know is rigged against them. They're busy focusing on their own path. So, okay, if they're choosing peace over performance, what's actually going on inside their head? Well, our fourth point here looks at the cognitive traits that really tie all of this together, and it often points to a more introspective, more authentic approach to life. This one is really powerful: an internal locus of evaluation. And it's really the result of all the other traits we've talked about. Because they have that self-awareness and that secure self-esteem, their own personal scorecard is the only one that truly matters. They judge themselves and their worth by their own standards, not by whatever's trending that day. And it just makes sense, right? Because of this, they're naturally going to gravitate towards deeper, more authentic connections. They would much rather have one meaningful face-to-face conversation than 100 superficial comments online. For them, the quality of an interaction will always beat the quantity. All right, so let's pull all these pieces together. We've moved way past those simple surface-level assumptions, and we've uncovered a completely different profile. It's a view of confidence that isn't loud or performative, but is incredibly resilient and grounded. So at the end of the day, when you see someone who's quiet online, you're probably looking at a person who really values their privacy, who knows exactly who they are, who has a secure sense of self-esteem, who thinks deeply about things, and who sees social media for exactly what it is, a performance, not always a reality. And it all boils down to this one powerful idea. They don't need to be seen to feel seen. Their sense of existence, of feeling valued and understood, doesn't come from being visible to thousands of people online. No, they feel seen by the people who truly matter in their real, offline lives. And you know what? That might just be the most authentic kind of confidence there is. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. As we all try to navigate our own digital lives, it's really worth asking ourselves, where do we get our sense of worth from? And in this world of endless scrolling, what does true, unshakable confidence really look like anymore?